Hey there everyone, it's Jaycee. Welcome back to another Perfect Pairing. In this card making tutorial, I'm sharing my secrets to beautifully arranged press plates and letterpressed cards. I have 3 designer tips to share for perfect impressions every time. Before we get into today's project, make sure you subscribe to the Altenew channel for more card making and paper crafting tutorials. My Perfect Pairings with Jaycee series explores crafting techniques that effortlessly blend sure-to-love new releases and well-loved Altenew favorites. If you love these kinds of crafty tutorials, hit the bell icon so you'll be notified of my videos airing on the 2nd and 4th Sunday. I'm going to prep my cotton canvas first. I have the Spellbinders Porcelain A2 panel, and I'm just using the sticky mat on the Stampwheel as my mixed media mat to apply an even wash of ink. I love the Sugarplums Fresh Dye Ink set. Pale mauve is one of my favorite Altenew colors. I'm using the ink pad for some direct-to-paper inking to get full saturation on my panel. While that dries back, let's get familiar with the BetterPress system. I use this exact setup every time I use the BetterPress system, and this is how I like to make my letterpressed cards. Here's the magnetic chase. This is what the Altenew press plates rest on. Most times I use all 3 thin shims underneath the chase. Here's the platen. This is what your cotton cardstock sticks to. Personally, I prefer using the tape runner to adhere my cardstock to the platen. So following the A2 registration marks on the chase, I'm going to align my dried pale mauve panel to the A2 lines. This will go face down on my magnetic chase. Then I'll apply 2 strips of the tape runner on top and bottom of the back of the cardstock. Then, without disturbing the cardstock, I'll bring my platen to the 4 alignment pegs of the chase. Notice I like to keep the BetterPress word facing me and legible when the chase and platen are together. This way I know my cardstock perfectly aligns with the registration marks on the chase. Then I'll depress the platen to the chase, ensuring that the adhesive on the back of the cardstock meets the platen. Alright, so we're all set up for letterpress. The most important thing as we continue with this tutorial is that the BetterPress logo for my system is on the bottom of the chase and legible. This alignment ensures that what I put on the magnetic chase perfectly mirrors the cardstock on the platen. Consistency is what is going to give me perfect arrangements. Now, how do we plan for those perfect arrangements for a full card front? My secret is this piece of paper. This is just a printing weight piece of paper. The thinner the better. You can cut notebook paper cut to the same size as your cotton panel. So if you're making an A7 sized card, you'll want this piece of paper to also be A7. With a little bit of tape runner, I'm going to now temporarily glue this panel to the A2 registration marks on the chase. Now we are ready to plan for our arrangement. I'm using a few of the Altenew press plates to make my floral arrangement. Here's Billowing Flower press plate and Wild Daisies press plate. I'm planning for this inverted and asymmetric floral arch. Notice how close my plates are. There's not really any room for error in this arrangement. Then with the new January 2024 Love Story press plate set, I'll pick the numbers and sentiment. I'm using the date October 7th or 1007. Now, just like your favorite Altenew numbers or letter stamps, sometimes you need double or even triple of a certain number or letter. To ensure that the second 0 I need fits in my card front, I'm going to trace around all of the press plates. Now, you don't have to trace around the whole plate. You could just make a few reference lines, but for the sake of the lines showing up on camera and making sense, I'm tracing around the whole floral image, number, and sentiment. Tracing around the entire floral image did help me notice that I have this slight gap on the top center. I used one of the billowing flower leaves to help fill in that space a little more and traced around the leaf. Now that I have traced reference lines for all of the press plate images I want to use, we can start inking these plates. Having this thin DIY traced template helps us see where the images will lie on your card front, but this template will also help with packing and arranging as many images as you can onto your card, and exactly where you want them. Both the Billowing Flower and Wild Daisies press plates will not fit through my 8.5-inch Spellbinders Platinum platform, so I will have to press each bundle of flowers one at a time. In Sugarplums, I'm going to use Plum to press the floral outlines to the platen. The way I like to apply the Fresh Dye Ink formula and pad to the press plate is slightly different to how you would apply the BetterPress ink that works with your BetterPress system. I have found that a light circular motion followed by light taps of the ink pad give me uniform saturation, especially for the solid number images. And once I'm ready to press the ink, remember I want the BetterPress logo to face me, and it's on the bottom of the platen. Then after running this through my manual die cutting machine, here is my finished outline. Now all I have to do is repeat this process for the Billowing Flower plate. I'll align the press plate to the traced template, apply ink, and then impress onto the platen. That also goes for this little sliver of the leaf image. I use the same twist and tap motion for the sentiment plate on the bottom of the template. To press the numbers, I'll align 3 of the plates to their respective templates. I'll use Amethyst this time to apply ink. As you apply ink, you might move the press plates around. All you have to do is nudge them back into place after twisting and tapping the ink pad. Then you can apply ink to the cardstock. Then lastly, I just have to apply the last 0 to the date by aligning it to its respective spot on my template. Getting this full arrangement would be impossible without this template, but then getting uniform ink impressions is just as easy as applying your ink in this twist and tap manner. I'm going to use a bit of the ink from the Sugarplums Fresh Dye Ink pads to add slight tonal shadows to the flower petals. I used both Amethyst and a very light wash of Plum to get some contrast on the pressed images. Then with whatever ink remains, I'll add a light spray of splatter around the cardstock. I gently pry the pressed and watercolored panel from the platen when finished. As for your template, keep it with your press plate. That's the beauty of this panel, is you can use it again, maybe for a different set of numbers or a different recipient. Then I can finish this card by adhering it to a folded note card base. My series encourages you to shop your existing Altenew stash and rekindle their love with newer releases. Perfect Pairings with Jaycee airs on the Altenew channel every second and fourth Sunday of the month. Please make sure you like and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you so much for tuning in to this Perfect Pairing episode with me, and I'll see you in the next one.
Hello there, crafty friend, Lydia here. Just popping in to say that you can get your daily dose of crafting tips, techniques, and tutorials just like this by subscribing to the Altenew YouTube channel. All you need to do is click on that little bell up there and you will never miss a video. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.